Hello everybody, welcome once again to my stream. My name is Technomagus, and today we are starting the next game in the Soul Blazer series, Illusion of Gaia. Originally released, I believe, in '95 for the Super Nintendo, around the middle of the time the console was in its heyday. Illusion of Gaia is an action-adventure game. Unlike Soul Blazer and Terranigma, it's not actually an RPG because you don't gain experience. Instead, every time that you clear through an area, or certain areas full of enemies, you will get like a little power-up that permanently increases your health or attack or defense. Also, unlike in Soul Blazer, you cannot actually name your main character. Everybody has set names. So we play as Will, who is the blonde kid on the left with the purple thing attached to his back. It's actually a flute. Nope. It would probably help if I actually hit the button for talking, not me. Okay. And this here, right off the bat, is the dark space. And I actually tested this. Unlike with Soul Blazer, the save system actually works with the SNES, so I won't have to be abusing save states, which is good. And this, the red jewel, is the hidden item system in this game. In every town, there's this gentleman, the jeweler Gem. He has a different appearance every time you see him. And basically, there are 50 red jewels in the game, most of which can be lost forever because they are very guide-danging, let's put it that way. For example, this one here, you have to, basically, that fisherman shows up randomly. He'll either be on this portion of the dock, down here, or all the way over on this corner. Every time you load the screen, he randomly appears in one of those three positions. So the way to get this particular red gem is you need to keep exiting and re-entering a room, or any other room. This works best because it's the closest to where he's supposed to be. Until the little bastard finally decides to show up. Come on, where are you? There he is. Now, one other thing you can do, you hit the select button to go into the menu, or to go into your item menu, and you can pick up the gems and then hit, I have it set so for the Y button to activate whatever item you equip, and that will send it out, or send the jewel out the gem so you don't have to go and find him. Useful because you only have 16 slots in your inventory. Alright, there's one more jewel to find here in the town, and that is here. Of course, you have to, if you have multiple red jewels, you have to equip and use them one at a time to send them off to gem. Of course, now that we've got 3 red jewels, as you can see, there are a number of things. If you get all 50 red jewels, you get to his secrets, which is basically a bonus dungeon. Alright, so let's go ahead and advance the plot. So, yes. Will, like Blazer, has telekinesis. He also has limited precognition. Now, it does not matter which one of these four that you pick, it will always be the Ace of Diamonds. To demonstrate, let's just do a quick save state here. And... Alright, so the left one was the Ace of Diamonds. Let's try this one here. They're all the Ace of Diamonds. This will come into play at a later point of time in the game, but it's just to show off how, it's basically just to show off how awesome Will apparently is. Make sure to thoroughly explore, because there is quite a bit of stuff in this place. Now, the other thing is, you saw how I got that herb from Gem. You actually do not... You want to be very careful with the gems, or with the herbs, because they are extremely rare. There are only 12 in the entire game, and they are your sole source of healing. Oh, well, thanks. Alright, well, let's go talk to Grandma and Grandpa upstairs. Uh-oh, let's go see what's going on. Oh, such a nice girl. Interesting. The princess just gets dragged out of your house by soldiers, and you just continue on without an... Okay, sure. Alright, so let's go to the castle. We've got all the red jewels in South Cape, so we don't need to worry about missing any of them here. So let's go to Edward's Castle. The world map is not much of a map. It's just the characters walking along the map to each location. Okay, so the king is over on the left-hand side, but we're not actually going there just yet. Let's see. Because there are some jewels here in the castle. And that was the guard that was that talked to us earlier. And where's our pig? Alright, time to go. Time to stop dawdling and talk to the king. Well, first we can go over here. There's nothing over here other than just some more plot. So you can lie and say that you did bring the crystal ring, or you can tell the truth. The same thing's going to happen either way. If you say no, the king basically says to the effect of, "How dare you say that to me? Throw him in prison." Alright, so there really is not a way to accelerate this point in time. It's just, you just want to interact with the stuff here, and then it's just a matter of waiting. And then we have to wait a little bit longer for the day to pass. And you can say whatever you want. The same thing. The father will say that the flute will say the same thing either way, and then of course we have these little gems. Okay, so now that we have the key, we can leave the dungeon. Right. Oh look, how convenient. And Gaia here is basically telling us that we can get jewels. Every 100 jewels gives us an extra life. If we die, basically we lose 100 jewels, and we get respawned back at the beginning of the room that we were in. Otherwise, it's back to the last save point. So, now we have our first introduction to combat. Hit the B button to swing your flute. If you hit left or right immediately after swinging, Will does a lunge attack that does a little bit of extra damage. Now, as I mentioned before, there is no experience, so there's no grinding levels in this game. The only way to advance your power or your weapon or your strength and armor and whatnot is to kill all the enemies in a room and take the gem at the end of the after killing everything. Like in Soul Blazer, there's basically a fixed number of enemies in each area. But there are rooms with respawning enemies that don't give any kind of gem or anything for clearing them out. But those are not until later on in the game. Alright. So, same shape as Seaside Cave, so we have to use telekinesis to... It's talking flower, we need to break it. And of course, there are invulnerable enemies that you cannot kill under any circumstances. Like, so these ones you just have to dodge, basically. Now, we don't actually want to jump down here just yet. We want to go down to this... Well, actually, we could jump down, but... want to first clear out all of the enemies. Yay, an herb! Whoa. One other thing you can do is you can hit the start button. It brings up a little mini-map radar kind of thing that shows you where the nearest enemies are. And when you see the glowing icon on the force, that means that there is an upgrade present in the room. And using Will's telekinesis, you can block projectiles, which is very useful. Alright, so obviously as you can see there's a jump point right beneath that, or right above that switch, so we need to go and jump! Now, enemies that you killed stay dead, so we only have 5 enemies left to slay to finish this area, which are all up here. And we get a health up. Okay, so let's go ahead and... First, let's get Gem his gem. And then we will play the melody. Okay. Okay. Something tells me that it was you need to hit both switches at the same time in order to advance that area. Hit detection is very similar to Soul Blazer, where if you are basically over top of an enemy's hitbox, you will hit them. Whether or not it actually makes sense logistically. Alright, so now we introduce the new mechanic in Illusion of Gaia, the Knight forms. In this case, Will can change his form from Boy with a Flute to the Magic Knight Friedan. Now, obviously, Friedan is significantly bigger. He has a much larger hitbox. He's also more powerful than Will is, having a longer reach and more attack power. And you can just go back in to switch back at any time, pretty much. Did I kill these guys? No, I have not. Now, Friedan does have the ability to use telekinesis, just like Will does. Obviously, since he does not have the flute, he cannot play music. But he can reach switches a little bit further off. And only needs to one-hit certain enemies to kill them instead of two-hitting. Still can't break indestructible enemies, though. And also, Friedan doesn't have the lunging attack that Will does. Still, small price to pay for a much more powerful attack. Now, you have to constantly re-equip items. Even if you later replace an item slot, you have to actually go back into the menu and re-equip it. Get back here. Alright, so now that we have cleared out the dungeon, in certain areas, Will automatically transform, or Friedan will automatically transform back into Will. And of course, interface spoiler, if you notice, there was a statue of Friedan on the left, and then an area for a statue on the right. It was not replaced by Will when you transformed. There is a second form Will gets later on in the game. That is the sound of coincidence. And here is another red gem. See, even though I had it on the same slot. Alright, so those are all the red gems in the castle. And now we are at the castle at night. So let's go up and talk to Kara. Alright, well, we gotta go to the cellar. Okay. So we automatically go from the castle to South Gate. As you can see, the king has gotten a hold of the house and pretty much ransacked it. Lovely. Alright, so let's go ahead and go save real quick. Now, since this is not a combat zone, Frieden is not available to change into. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and split off the video here, so stay tuned for the next part as we journey to Itoria Village. See you guys in a little bit.